Welcome to Creative Brews. I'm Kristen, and this is your weekly dose of creativity, where photography, design, and life come together. So, grab your favorite drink, and let's talk about what's brewing. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Creative Brews. I have a guest, Patrick, my boyfriend, my other half.
I'm here.
And today we're basically going to be talking about hobbies and interests, and maybe later if we have time, burnout and how to handle burnout and creative blocks, basically. So, we'll start off. What's your hobby?
My hobbies? Oh, wow. I have a few. Obviously, you see my little friend here. Known as Art the Clown to some that are into the horror. This is one of my hobbies. Obviously, I don't make the masks, but I do custom work with existing masks and other costume pieces or props, I would say. And one of my major hobbies is cosplay. And it could be a range of different characters, from horror to Marvel superheroes to anime characters. I mean, the list is on. I mean, I could be listing multiple characters, but yeah, one of my major hobbies is cosplay, like I said, and then also working on cosplay. And it's definitely a good, little activity, that you can work on, craftsy. So everybody has a little craft to work on. Artsy, crafty, yeah.
Craftsy,
so I keep making more
artsy.
words out of that. But yeah, that's one of my hobbies. But you want to go ahead and
Oh, yeah.
give off a hobby and go one on to the other?
Yes, I have quite a bit of hobbies, I guess you could say. A lot of people would probably be like, oh, well, we know it's going to be photography. And that's one of them, but where it all started is, I would say, fine art. So drawing, painting, multimedia, mixture of all of that. And then it went digital, so, kind of sort of digitally painting or manipulating photos. Nowadays, it's still photography, but I've been really enjoying video, so like documenting, I guess you could say, your life.
No, video is fun.
So yeah, I love cinematography, so.
Yeah, that's always something I always wanted to get into.
Yeah.
And I've kind of experimented with some of that with my YouTube. So.
Yeah, because I like photos because they tell a story. You can capture somebody's, I guess you would call it personality, and who they are as a person if it's a good photo, in my opinion. But what's cool with cinematography is that you can do the same thing, but it's, you kind of watch it more than...
Yeah, you see it in motion. You get to see their emotions. You get to see the time past and things, especially if you lose someone, a loved one, or, it's like a child that gets older. You get to remember, besides just a photo that you capture, that one little second of, not even a second, it's just a flat out photo. And everyone changes. Some days someone may look different than other days, so sometimes you capture that moment.
Oh, yeah.
Video, obviously, like you said, you can capture all kinds of things. You can edit videos and have fun playing around with that, along with personal stuff and hobby, or just doing what you like to do, or a business thing type of thing. But
Yeah. Now, I mean, graphic design for me it started as a hobby, but then, I was like, well, I can make money doing this, and so we'll see. But, how did you get into cosplaying and all that?
Wow. Well, that's an interesting one because actually, it actually started later with cosplay. I mean, I'd always been a collector. I always liked to collect things. Um, I never really thought about wearing any of the costumes, I suppose. I mean, I always saw. I mean, nowadays, I feel old by saying that, but nowadays there's a lot more social media. And when I was younger, especially my teens and up into my early 20s, what social media we had was like MySpace, stuff like that. So it was more music driven. You didn't see much of the people being out there going to conventions as more of a popular thing or costuming. Um, but um, but yeah, it's definitely later on because that's when I started realizing that people were having fun doing it, and there was someone I ran into that was actually doing it, Stormtrooper for Star Wars, and part of a group. And I used to be part of an organization called the 501st. It's for Make a Wish Foundation. Still around. It's been around since '97. Originated in the Carolinas.
That's cool.
That's another character lineup I didn't mention. Star Wars. I've done Star Wars, but that's where it originated from, and then being exposed to other people and other interests, and because I like a range of different things, I was able to experiment and do other type of costumes and not get bored of that hobby because I would always change it up. I may keep a few things of that costume or prop as collecting, but other than that, I would probably move on.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a way of simpling it up.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome, actually. So I guess I've already pretty much talked about how my hobbies started, but I guess in a nutshell, it's kind of just something that I was interested in. I wanted to find out more information about it, so, research here and there, / okay, well, let's, try it out and see how it goes. And, you kind of find what you like out of that. Our cat is over here having a field day. I don't remember what I was saying before, but I think it pretty much wrapped it up. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like, I think hobbies, and you may or may not agree, and you might not agree either, but I think hobbies, of course, are important just because not only does it develop you, I think it kind of helps develop a person, but it also helps with, of course, the mundane part of life. But I don't know, it's fun to have a hobby that you really like and that you can just get lost in.
Yeah, I mean, especially, day and age, because there's so much, negativity out there and bad things out there that, nothing wrong with a little bit of hobbies or, if something triggers your interest to try something new.
Right.
Go for it. I mean...
And if you don't know what you like, you can just...
Exactly. Try new things.
All of them.
Try new things. I mean, you don't have to do the same thing everyone else does.
Right.
And everyone has their own opinion on certain things, so some people may not want to do the same type of things. But I think mentally, it's a good thing to have hobbies because it keeps you, I wouldn't say distracted because you don't want to be distracted from reality because you get distracted by reality, then you lose what's going on in the real world, and then you end up being behind, and you lose out on family relationships, work, all kinds of things that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But it's good to have like a little small escape or a little bit of fun. It's like having that little bit of urge of when you're a kid, you get to play with toys and be outside and be distracted and not worry about the negativity.
Right.
You know, of course, hobbies just like this and other things. Some things do, still cost money.
Unfortunately,
you gotta be smart about it. Of course, there's another thing where some people do go overboard. You have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think honestly it's a good mental thing. I'm gonna keep touching on that because a lot of people don't do hobbies. Some people don't do interests. They just keep doing what they normal thing, routines, and I mean that's fine, but eventually you break.
Yeah.
It's good to have something. I mean, hobby. I mean, you don't have to do cosplay. Not a lot of people do cosplay. More people do it more than I thought they did. I mean, it's blown up in the last 4 or 5 years, in my opinion. There's a lot more people. As like I said, I started later in life, but there's people that have been doing it now, and they're since they were a kid. Now they're adults,
right?
So they're used to it. It could be hobbies like photography, video,
or just painting,
drawing. Doing any type of thing like that. Hobbies, car hobbies. I mean, being out, in like interests, working out. I mean, I like to work out. I like running. I don't run as much as I used to, but that was one of my big interests the last few years was running and being outside, especially with my YouTube with urban exploring. That's definitely an interest of mine because
that's another hobby too.
Yeah, hobby, interest, right? What defines it, right? Interest is something that you like and whatever, but a hobby is you actually getting into it. So obviously urban exploring was an interest, and I ended up dipping my toes into it and being a hobby. I've been a little slow on it here lately because there's just a lot been going on.
It's hard to find locations.
It's hard to find locations.
Because they don't just, anything, they don't just drop in your lap.
That, and also you got to worry about, here lately there's been a lot of more homeless areas, and you got to be careful
junkies around.
Well, yeah, that's no way of putting it.
Homeless people and junkies, not to be mean, but
yeah, because
there's been an uprise.
You got to think about it. You go in somewhere like that, and they're in there. It's like someone walking in your house. To them, that's their domain. So you don't know what you may face. That, and also too, a lot of city town areas have gotten a lot smarter with a lot of locations now where out of safety, because they don't know how reliable, even though they shouldn't be how reliable because you're already going on a property or somewhere that's been abandoned, and if you get hurt, that's on you technically. But now there's a lot of places now that are chained off, fenced off, posted, and it makes it a lot harder for when you're when you want to do those type of things.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, like talking about locations. There's locations, but the problem is you have to travel. And that's why if you see these other people, like YouTubers that are up and about, bigger YouTubers, they have money, they do that type of thing. And it's all up to how far you want to take something, hobby or interest. Me, I'm just doing it to have fun. It's just a little hobby. Those people have turned that hobby, just like you talked about your web design and all that, into a job or a business. So it's okay to do that, but sometimes people lose that interest in that interest or that hobby that you originally had by doing that. Just like with cosplay, there's people out there that consider themselves, I never considered anyone a professional cosplayer. And I don't mean to offend anyone by saying that. I've been to conventions where they have their own table, hey, that's cool. That's what you want to do.
They sell
Fine.
their own photos. And
yeah,
stuff like
or people
of,
that do events and parties.
Yeah.
I get that. If you want to do that, that's cool. I've done events, but I've never been paid for it. I've done it under the Star Wars group, the 501st. And any money that we raised always went to Make-A-Wish or some type of foundation. It never went to us. We never, anything that we paid for came out of our own pockets. But if you want to do a party or birthday party or something, that's cool, whatever, that's your thing. I don't do that.
Yeah, you definitely, when your hobby
Plus, you don't own that character, so just keep that in mind, too.
Well, yeah. When your hobby goes from a hobby to a business, it does take the fun out of it. And I know a lot of people will say, well, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And they are correct in some ways. It's just that is the prime example and the reason why I don't offer photography services anymore. Now, what I am going to be doing is called branding photography, which is a little different because it's a setup. It's, probably portraits or something like that. And it's to go along with your business branding, so your brand identity, which you should already have if you are a business. And so it kind of is just like an extra to your business, whatever that is, cosplaying or whatever. But I'm getting a call. But it's not. I'm no longer offering. Now, if you know me and you're like, hey, can you do some photos for whatever? Like I've done some for friends and stuff like that. I'll do that, but I'm kind of taking that hobby back as a hobby because I love photography because it captures life, whether that be nature, whatever. And so it takes the spark out of it whenever you feel like, oh, here we go, I gotta go to work, So, blah.
Yeah, when you feel like you're forced to do it because you're getting paid to do it, and it's not the way you want to do it, it does. I mean, it kind of just like when people. I think you've asked me, a few other people have asked me. I used to do 3D printing. I stopped doing it because it's very time consuming and it costs money. I just didn't have the time to deal with it.
Or the space.
Well, yeah, the space. But nowadays, you can get a smaller, printer and make big prints with it. But people go, oh, you should, print things and sell them. But then at that point, you lose it. Like, because I only got a 3D printer just to print things I wanted to print.
Yeah.
Now because I wanted to print something for someone else. Because like I said, it's time consuming.
Right.
You have to buy that, supply and print the stuff. But, I mean, I see other people that do it. I guess they make some money. But I don't know. It just won't for me because, like I said, I just enjoyed printing the things for myself.
Yeah, a lot of people do turn that into a business. But honestly, I see, like, we've gone to anime shops and stuff like that, and we see 3D printed stuff. They look great, don't get me wrong, but they're all the same thing.
Yeah. Well,
that's the other thing.
Well, the thing is, it comes just like what I said about characters, own characters.
Mm-hmm.
3D printed. A lot of those files are owned by individuals or companies. Prime example, I have not printed it, but I own, because I bought it, a Winter Soldier arm 3D printed file. So I can actually print the Winter Soldier arm. But a lot of times when you purchase those files, you agree that you cannot resell them. Yeah. So I cannot resell that file. I could probably share that file with someone, but I can't sell that file because I don't own it. There's been people I've seen with some of these designs that are selling free. These are free prints that you can get online.
Mm-hmm.
and they're printing them and selling them. I guess it could be a gray area where they're just printing. It's considered a printed service, but you're printing it and selling them individually in a store. It becomes something else, and that's at conventions as well. I'm not, like I said, I'm not. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I just say it's one of those things where you got to be careful, because at the end of the day, corporate world, and people own their properties, just like characters, any type of franchise or anything like that, they can come and get it. And that's the thing, when an individual is trying to sell things, you better make sure it's something that you own or something that you've created, because
your copyright.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Trademarks and copyrights,
trademarks, stuff like that. Like, if you're someone, even if you, like, a lot of times people will, redraw something, which is fine, but if you, like, let's say you traced it or something, and it's perfect, you know what I mean? Like, it looks great or whatever. I mean, unless you're painting it with a different flair, I kind of feel like, well,
it's just like you see artwork that's something you've seen online. And I'm not going to get too far into this, because it's going
AI.
Well, that's actually what I was about to bring up.
AI.
I didn't want to get too far into that, because that's a whole nother conversation.
I'm still wanting to do my AI episode.
AI, for example, is stolen images from online that has created an image that someone did not create, and people were selling them.
Oh, yeah, straight up.
I do not support that. That's one thing I do not care if I offend.
Especially at conventions.
And I've seen that at conventions, and they should be shut down. Yeah. Not the convention, the AI.
The AI artwork.
If you want to give it away, cool, whatever, but you should not sell that, because you're not being creative. You're not an artist. But because you put it in on an app and created that, congratulations, your app did it for you.
Yeah, like I said,
you didn't create that.
It's like you printed out a piece of art. Maybe it's a character or something, and then you put it on a light board and you traced it. That's kind of similar. Like, you didn't create it.
I mean, it's just
you're
like
not being creative.
Yeah, it's just like using social media. Like, sometimes I'll upload a photo, and I'll use someone else's filter, and I never take ownership of that filter. It's just right there. And a lot of times, sometimes
some of them are,
they have watermark. And a lot of times I won't edit it out, because it's right there.
Right.
I don't own it. Plus, but they give permission to use it while it's on it.
Plus, it takes a lot to use that filter, save it, put it, load it up into another software to remove it. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
But we won't go too far into that, because that's not a hobby or interest. That's just someone being lazy and using a software, a aware software, to create artwork that someone else did not actually create.
Right, and it kind of is.
And it takes away from artwork from other places. If you look at AI, it's always something it's borrowed from other images to create.
So AI, I know other people probably know this, and you probably know this too, but AI basically scans the internet, and it takes various different images to compile them together to make it into another piece of art. But it's still not, No. You didn't look through all these photos and then say, you know what, I'm gonna draw from that, not print it out and then trace it.
You're taking, like I said before, you're taking someone else's artwork or images owned by a company, studio, or individual that has been taken or put on the web, and you have
a Frankenstein.
Basically. And there's videos and photos online. Some people sadly believe that stuff. You can still tell what is real and what's not real, unless someone goes in and edits it themselves and does a whole bunch of editing. But yeah, there's a lot of fake stuff out there. But
Especially nowadays, not to keep talking about it, but nowadays in like places like Hobby Lobby, um, Home Goods, places like that, there's been an uproar of people posting to social media about, look at this piece of art, and then, they're over here filming it and saying, oh, it's AI, that's AI, and all this other stuff, but...
Yeah, we're in a day and age of, we're already in a day and age where can't believe what you see on the internet. You definitely can't believe it now.
Well, and so on the flip side, it's like someone who maybe wrote a book and then, I'm going to come out with a book, and I completely ripped that book off. I mean, it's kind of similar.
Yeah, you took everything they literally had and you just tweaked it.
Yeah, I mean...
all you did.
Right. And same goes, you got to watch that too, because they can still come after you, but... Why do you think hobbies are important? We did say and touched on mental health.
Well, I mean, it goes right back to what I said. Yeah, mental health. It keeps. I mean, honestly, mental health. I mean, honestly, because it keeps you going.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a lot going on in your life.
Right.
And also, hobbies can also be bad. I kind of touched on that a little bit with people taking it overboard, spending a lot of money, or they let their hobbies or interests take over their life. That's possible. It can be very easy to do so. It's like an addiction. Anything can be addictive, right?
Oh yeah.
Anything can be addictive.
Especially when you're escaping. So
some people, of course, there's so many people in the world, and of course, you're gonna have your few that take it way overboard.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, like I said, I still stand on the whole mental thing. I think it's good, and it also can be bad. Yeah. And I think that with anything. You can't have your good without your bad. You can't have your bad without your good.
Exactly. But we've talked about hobbies and interests. I think it would be interesting to talk about burnout and creative blocks, and basically how you deal with that. How do you get past it? What's the process that you go through, sort of situation? Like, how do you recharge or seek inspiration? Everybody, I feel like everybody's like, oh, hustle culture and all this other stuff. Like, go, go, go. You've always got to be, 10 steps ahead and stuff like that, which I think, you can do that and you can really, pump stuff out, but you're going to hit a wall one of these days. But so what's your process in a creative block or burnout?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I really have a process. Usually try to focus on if there's any conventions when it comes to cosplaying hobbies. And then I guess I wouldn't say creative block per se, but when you kind of need to take a break.
Yeah.
Because you don't, almost I wouldn't say completely burned out, but you get kind of tired of, because you don't want to work too hard onto it, because then you lose interest in it. And then you get kind of, it's like, but it is good, healthy, to take a break. You don't have to work on something like that all the time, constantly, because, like I said, you lose interest, and then you get burned out. Yeah. And that goes with the cosplaying. It goes with I started with the YouTube. Even though I haven't been uploading like I was, I guess it's a nice little break where I'm not feeling like, oh, I gotta put out a video. Because I was worried about that a little bit, because I was like, I want to keep updated, but then I was like, well, I'm not a big YouTuber, so I shouldn't worry about that. I have a life, I have a family, right. I have other things that I'm interested in outside of hobbies that I still want to do. I still want to go out and have a good time with my family. So it's good to take breaks so you don't get burned out.
Oh yeah.
And you lose interest. Then you lose interest, and you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, and then you kind of end up with a channel like me where I was go, 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 go. Gotta get this out, gotta get that out, and I was doing I was trying to do 100% YouTube, 100%, have like all these businesses going. I was trying to have a production, basically business going, because it was called LLBG a long time ago. But you can't divvy yourself up into too many areas and do it 100%, all the time. Me personally, I sort of have a process. So what I'll do is I'll take a break. I'll take a step back, take a breather, maybe go walk in the park or something like that. Like, nature to me it takes my stress away because, as a child, what child wears shoes whenever they play outside, right? Nowadays they call it grounding. But really all you're doing is just go walk outside without any shoes on. What do you feel? Is it, rough? Is it mushy? It's kind of like if you get burnt out in anything, whether it's a hobby or life in general, it's kind of like you need to take a step back and almost take yourself to a childlike place in your mind, I would say. Because as a child, you've got an imagination or whatever it is. You're outside and you're like, oh, this tree isn't a tree, it's my home, or it's, a magical castle or something like that. Like, as an adult and as we get older and older and, eventually we'll be old. And, you kind of lose the magic, I think. Some people, I'm not saying you. I'm saying, as a society, we do that because we're all the time going. We're all the time, I gotta pay this bill.
Well,
I gotta go to work.
Then you have stereotypes, right? People go, oh, you're getting older. You shouldn't be doing those things.
Oh, I know.
You shouldn't have those type of hobbies or interests anymore.
Or why did you dye your hair that color?
Yeah.
Aren't you 50? You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
it's still good. I mean, like they say, they say that it's good to still, when you get older, to still be doing things. You don't want to lose interest in things and not do anything, because then you just start falling apart. Yeah. And it plays back to that mental of having interest in hobbies, because it keeps you going.
Yeah, and I wrote down a few things, like sometimes I have to change my environment. Or I know some people, they'll journal, which I'm not a big journaler, like, Dear Diary. I tried to do that as a child, it didn't work out.
Mine's mentally.
Yeah, I'm mental. I do journal mentally. But, yeah, a lot of times take a break, take a step back. Especially if I'm drawing or painting, to me, it's never done. I can always do something different to it, but I have to force myself, okay, I've got this deadline, so it's going to be done. Otherwise, I'll keep working on it. So, yeah, and, I mean, that's basically it for me. I recharge by nature, going back outside.
Well, that's I mean that's a good thing. I like to do the same. I mean, actually going outside is an interest.
And a hobby.
Yeah, and a hobby. I mean, like I said earlier, one of my interests was running. I still like to walk. We still go out to some of the parks or preserve areas that's around the area, and we go out and enjoy nature, because we have nature.
Well, and it's really nice too, because I'm in a different city these days. So, he's been living in this city. I'm not gonna name the city for personal reasons, but it's fun to explore and go on little adventures adventures is what I tell
Yeah,
James.
and even though I'm from here, I still see new things. There's still new
Yeah.
things, and that makes it interesting. Like I've told you before, when I used to go out on long trips on the trails, I'll find new locations, and then I'll get lost intentionally, because then I'll get too wrapped up into it, and I'm realize I've been out there for hours. But I had fun. I mentally escaped from everything, and then while I'm out there, I'm thinking, then I start feeling like I come back and I'm like charged, because I'm like, I'm not worrying about all these other things, and I take a break and I step back from everything, because I'm out here just being free, taking those worries away, and you're not worrying about anything, because you're out there. No one's bothering you. No one's pestering you. You're out there, with nature. So it's peaceful.
And if your phone is going off or active, I purposefully, and actually this kind of goes into the mental thing, lately I have basically like programmed my phone now, because I used to have a bedtime, so I set it at 10 o'clock. And it would play a little, alarm to tell me, it's 10 o'clock, you need to go to bed. Now, with the new update on my phone, you can set wind down times and stuff like that. And instead of it just saying, hey, it's time to wind down, it actually kind of takes my phone into a wind down.
Huh,
so what that means is I'll still get notifications, but my phone won't go off. So it doesn't give me anxiety. Because I kind of feel like nowadays with our phones and technology, people, whether it's family, friends, whoever, think, oh, well, I'm just going to text them real quick and they'll text back. And a lot of times, maybe you're watching a movie. Maybe you're doing laundry or whatever.
Or maybe you just don't want to be on your phone.
Or maybe it's not anybody in general. It could just be social media, Facebook, YouTube,
Yeah. And that's another thing, social media. Like, I'll get on social media. I think nowadays I share mostly just, like, my hobbies or interests or something funny I'll see on there.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really get on social media because I have no reason to.
I don't either.
This right here is my social. I don't really need to really.
Scroll.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
either that or you're gonna see some crazy stuff you may not want to see anyway.
Yeah.
But we won't go. That's a whole nother topic.
Facebook has a way of doing stuff like that.
I'm more. I mean, if we're just not doing much and we're just hanging out, I'd rather just watch a movie.
Yeah.
Or
watch YouTube or
something. Or either occasionally may play a game or something, but it goes back to that taking a break and a step back, or just relaxing. Because you can do things like that and relax and take a step back, but
exactly, yeah. Well, I guess that kind of sums up everything.
Okay.
Nicely.
That sounds good. I don't think I got really much more about the hobbies and
Interest.
It kind of wraps itself up.
Yeah, or the burnout. I think all those kind of go together.
I think it all equals to mental. The whole mental thing. Because like, you don't need to be physically. I mean, you can. It depends on the type of hobby or interest you're in. But you don't have to be physical with that hobby or interest.
Yeah.
It's more that mental thing, that mental aspect.
Right. Yeah. And different ways to stimulate your brain mentally, maybe physically, without, your phone and stuff like that, which is overstimulation and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It could be music. Music was a sort of a hobby / it was more an interest, not a hobby.
Yeah, music's more of an interest. Because I think it'd be more a hobby if you're actually performing music, or you're getting into music. I at one point attempted to get through music, but I just never really went that route.
Yeah, same here. A few people wanted to make a band a long time ago, and I was like,
A think everybody went through that stage.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on.
Well,
again.
Thank you for having me.
And if you all are interested in his YouTube channel / social links, I'll leave them down below or in the show notes. And y'all can check him out.
Yeah, send me some support, guys.
Yeah. And
may motivate me to make another video.
And your handle, you go ahead and plug it in.
Oh, it's Fallen Hero Explorers. Nothing fancy, just as simple as it is.
Yep. And like I said, all the links will be down below, so it'll be super easy.
And a touch on that, when I mean by Fallen Hero Explorers, as of right now, mostly what I've been putting out has been exploring videos, but I'm also have looked at Fallen Hero Explorers. Could be many different things. It could be explorers' hobbies, interests, and other things in the world.
Yeah, because maybe it might be cosplay.
Exactly. It could be many different things. It could be, I mean, I think we've even mentioned trying different things. Like, It may be more a video type of thing, but like trying different types of
maybe foods or drinks.
Drinks. It could be from coffee to alcohol. But yes, I would definitely like to do that. We could, do this again.
Well, and I kind of wanted to do that. Should we say?
No, we'll save it. We'll save it.
Okay. Well,
but
we'll leave you hanging.
Yeah. So it's her channel. I'll let her do, the ending of this. But yeah, I do appreciate you bringing me on.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on, and that's kind of basically what my podcast is about. Is not hobbies and interests, but that's the reason why I just labeled it Creative Brews, so that way it could be broad. But yeah, thanks so much for watching or listening, and make sure you subscribe and all that, and share. And if anybody else in your life needs to hear this, or if you think anybody in your life could benefit from hearing or watching, send it their way. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.